Hey, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I am with Janet Perini. She is a massage therapist and a Reiki master. And I don't have too much education in the Reiki area, actually zero. So I am super excited to introduce Janet and get to talk to her today. How are you doing, Janet?
Oh, I'm doing well, Ben, and I'm super excited to share my experience and my knowledge about Reiki with you. It's just been the gift of my life.
That's beautiful. And what we're all about is changing people's thinking and helping them help giving people epiphanies that they didn't know about before. And so I think that it sounds like Reiki is pretty flies under the radar and like it's some uncommon knowledge. So I'm really excited for you to talk about it.
That's exactly right, Ben. It isn't easily defined and it isn't easily understood, but I'll do my best to try to explain it to you as per my experience of it, which is always the best way. Everybody has their own experience with giving Reiki and receiving Reiki, but there is a lot to be said about it that can help to define it a little bit better.
Excellent. What is it?
It's actually a Japanese born healing therapy. And what it does is it engages with the subtle energy systems of the body. I'll explain more about what these systems are, but if you just understand for now that the subtle energy systems of the body are those systems that aren't measurable by science. It's what one feels, let's say, if they've had the bottom of their leg amputated from the knee down, and they might experience phantom limb pain. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Phantom limb pain is actually a phenomena that one feels after a body part has been amputated, where it still feels as if that body part is there.
Oh,
It's
wow.
very much, yeah, it's amazing. And it can cause great discomfort and great stress because it can present with the same kind of pain that it did when it was there before surgery. And that is the result of the energetic body that is still completely intact and has not been severed or amputated by surgery.
The energetic body.
Exactly. It is the subtlest form of energy in the body that Reiki directly engages with. And what it does when it engages with this energy is it promotes balance, ease, repair, restoration, and replenishment on all levels of our being. And that's the beauty of it because it's not just a physical modality, which would be wonderful enough because it's so profoundly relaxing, but it also has a very powerful effect on the mental and the emotional and the spiritual aspects of our body. And it does this regardless of our belief systems, of our gender, of our age, and even our state of health. So that's the real beauty of Reiki is anybody can learn it, do it, and anybody can receive it, and all will benefit from it.
Wow. And so where did you learn about this?
Um, I I had been acquainted with the word Reiki for a long time, even going back about 20 years as a nurse, which was my original training. I was always really interested in the kind of the conversation that the body seemed to have with the mind and the spirit as a nurse, and I was interested in sort of going further than the physical boundaries that nursing offered me, more into other more sort of esoteric forms of healing. And I liked what Reiki meant, and I'll break it down for you if you like
Yes.
into the two words, so you'll better understand the appeal that it had for me as a nurse. in not just treating the physical body. Um, and just to answer your question more fully, what I eventually did is I got trained in it. There's training offered in many places, and I got trained in two different systems of Reiki. And once I got trained, I started to practice it, and I never turned away from it. Just to sort of bring that question to full circle.
Wow.
But what the word Reiki means is it's actually a combination of two Japanese words, Rei and Ki or Chi. Have you heard of the word Chi?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so
Don't know much about it. One of my teachers just used to like talk about chi and have us listen to like Enya and and talk about chi. So that's all I know about it though.
well, it's amazing that you should mention Enya because it's one of my son's well knows. She is by far my favorite musician.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear it right now.
Oh, so can I. I mean, and that's what music will do because it will put you into a certain state of mind and body because it actually emits vibrational energy. And
I'm
that's what Reiki is all about. It addresses and engages with this vibrational energy then that immediately relaxes you when you hear Enya
It's
singing.
crazy. Yeah, I really like all this stuff. Some people, will say, "Oh, that's a bunch of baloney or whatever," but I know, I don't know a lot about it, but I know that this stuff is real and that Reiki is real, and so that's what I just want to keep on finding out more because I believe in it.
Well, I'm glad you do, but I have to say that it's not important if you don't. And it's important in terms of this, this recording that you are curious about it. But even if you didn't believe in anything that you couldn't measure or easily define, it would work for you.
Wow.
That's
What do you
really
tell me more about that?
okay. So, well, again, just breaking the word down will help you to understand why this is so, that it does work. So the most generally accepted sort of understanding or definition of the Rei portion of the word Reiki is that it's defined as a universal life force energy. Have you heard that expression before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Universal. Okay, that life force that surrounds us and connects us. That sort of unexplainable, powerful a life force that forms galaxies and spins our planets and forms black holes. That which isn't measurable and it's not easily defined. That's generally accepted that there is another force out there that is much greater than our understanding and our ability to control. The way I like to think of the word Rei is as a divine consciousness because it is, in my experience of it, a spiritually guided energy. And really, it's not in conflict with the word universal because the divine consciousness that's present is the consciousness of your understanding, whatever that is, whether you call that God or source energy or Yahweh, Buddha, all that is. There's a lot of words for that guidance, that life force energy that's there. But because it is divinely guided, I believe, it allows for sort of the wonder of the unknown and the possibility that there are forces at work that offer great comfort and great sustenance, great nourishment, and those forces are not controlled by us. So, it's about this greater wisdom that seems to be at play.
And this is
And
the Rei. This is the Rei part.
exactly. That's the definition of the word Rei. I'm taking a Japanese kanji, which is a Japanese symbol, a word, in other words, and I'm giving it, an English
Got
translation.
it.
But that's sort of the best that I can do with that word that incorporates my experience of it.
Got it.
So if you think of it as a spiritually guided life force energy, it makes sense that would always only be for our highest good and our greatest soul purpose in the receiving of it and the practice of it, in the transmission of it.
Got it.
Both ways. And then if we were to look at the chi part, or ki, it's the same word, it's just that the ki is the Japanese word and chi is the Chinese word for energy. And the way that I understand chi and have been taught about chi and experienced chi is that it's the vital life force that is in all animate and inanimate, which means rocks and crystals. You know, we don't consider rocks and crystals necessarily as being animate or alive, but they are actually. And so it's that life force that animates or gives life to all forms. So in doing so, this chi, this quality of chi that is external to us and also internal, actually determines our state of health. That's how important it is to understand what chi is and how we can nourish it. It determines our state of health, the strength of our immune system, the just the basic quality of energy that's available to us every day and just even in moment to moment. It's the chi that really defines that. It's the chi that moves the blood inside our circulatory system. Blood doesn't move without the presence of chi. There's actually no movement at all whatsoever in the body, whether it be a voluntary movement or an involuntary movement, that doesn't reflect chi and the actual quality of chi. So you can sort of get a feel for the chi that's present in you or that's present in other people, say, by their stamina, perhaps, their strength, or let's just get back to you, your stamina, your strength.
Yeah.
You know, how healthy do you feel today? You know, what's the quality of light in other people's eyes? Or how do you feel your thoughts to be today? Do they feel coherent? Do they feel scattered? What's the quality of your thoughts? Even our very thought processes then reflect the chi and the health of the chi that's present in our bodies and in our minds.
Is it possible to have no chi?
Not if you're alive.
Wow. Got it.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that you can look at somebody and see how they look and act and be able to tell maybe if they have a lot of chi or not a lot of chi.
I think so. If you think about your own experiences with other people, how do you experience each person that talks to you, say, you know, in your recordings, in your physical podcasts even, you know, especially in the physical podcasts, because you can actually see the light in their eyes. You can feel their presence. What does it do for you? Does it excite you? Does it stimulate you? Does it stimulate thought? Do you feel energized by it? Even if it's just by a great curiosity about what they're saying, you know, does it you know, jumpstart something in you that perhaps wasn't there before? You know, is there such a quality to them that they create an emotional, physical response in you?
Right. I think
That's how you really know.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely now that you're saying this, I mean, I can tell, you know, based on it makes me react and act like completely different based on the other person's chi.
Yes, exactly. And it's very natural that it would then, because what happens is we all have, again, this vibrational energetic system.
So is it contagious?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is chi contagious?
Well, you know, in the sense that it affects you directly, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
We
it could
can affect others by the quality of our chi.
And
Certainly.
it could be good or bad. We can hurt people's chi or increase it.
I believe we can. Let me give you an example. Say you're walking into a meeting
Yep.
or a workshop or an interview,
Yep.
say, and you just have kind of a bad feeling about it. You just feel unsettled.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite feel right. Whatever that may be, it doesn't matter what the reason is. There's something about it in that moment and in that day that is occurring to you that you're not comfortable. You're simply not comfortable.
Yep.
And what's possible, very possible, and probably even happening, is that you are picking up on the vibrational energy or energies of the people or the person in that next room.
That's crazy.
Because our vibrational field actually extends at least 7 to 10 feet from our bodies, but it can also go as far as 60 feet. So everything
I love this
amazing.
stuff. I believe in it 100%. I know that it's real.
And I can tell just by your presence and your animation, I know that you do because of that response and who you are and the questions that you ask. And it really is amazing. And we affect each other all the time.
Yep.
In much more subtle ways than we're ever aware of. So, we're so connected by this universal consciousness, this divine nature that's external to us, but also internal, that it's really, amazing and important that we're aware of this connection.
So what about if somebody lived, say you live in an apartment and somebody lives next door to you, but you don't know them. You're saying that their chi could be affecting the way that you think and feel.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
If that person is very depleted in their chi, in their energy, as I'm describing it,
yep.
Chi is actually even, I'm just going to throw this out there to you, but Chi is actually even a larger form of energy than the Chi that Reiki connects with. We are connecting with the Chi, but we're also connecting with something even more subtle, and I'll talk to you about that. But if that person's Chi is severely depleted because they're sick, say, you may not feel it as directly behind the walls of their apartment and within the walls of yours than you would be if you were to meet them out in the hallway or, outside on the street.
Got it.
Because their chi, chances are, is probably not emanating that far from their body.
Got it. What about physically touching someone? If you shake their hand or hug them and stuff like that, what kind of effect does that have?
Well, do you feel that it has an effect on you, depending on the people that you might, shake their hand or hug? Do you ever feel in your own body a direct response?
I think so.
I think so too, and I really think that it is the result of, once again, being in each other's vibrational energetic field. And when you make that direct contact of touch, it's even more evident. And when the touch is loving, caring, nurturing, as in a hug, it's even that much more powerful. Because then we have the energy of love, or at least care, concern. So it's that much more powerful, in effect.
So would you say that as a person I'm responsible for managing the chi that's around me?
You are mostly responsible for managing the chi that's within you.
Got it.
And by managing the chi that's within you, you manage the chi that's without you, outside of you. Because the chi that's within you is a direct manifestation of what surrounds you personally. That's our aura.
Man.
That's what's called the aura.
That's crazy.
And The aura will directly affect everybody and everything around you. Everybody and everything that is animated with life.
So so when you hear somebody say, "Oh man, he has a real powerful aura," what are people saying?
What people are saying is that person has a very powerful effect on me. I feel something when I'm with that person. It might be unsettling, but it's powerful. It might be fear. It's, it doesn't necessarily have to be something positive. It's what's within you and the strength of what's within you that you're feeling the effect of. So if you're going into a workshop, say, and you're getting some really negative hits, chances are the people in there are not resonating, or at least enough of them, on a level that is coherent with your energy field. It doesn't feel right for you.
Yeah. So
And so, yes, we're very responsible for our own chi. Yes.
I had a friend that told me she went to an event where she shook like probably 100 hands, and and then the next day she would just had she had like a really bad day. She felt sick physically, mentally, and just was in a bad mood. And that somebody told her, they asked, "What did you do last night?" And she told her, she said, "I was at an event where I shook a bunch of people's hands." And that person suggested that somehow they had, I don't know if they called it chi or what, but I mean, is this what we're talking about? That could have been what was affecting her.
Exactly what we're talking about. Exactly.
So what
And
happened to her?
what happened to her, again, just from my understanding, I'm not the end all and be all of Reiki. Again, I speak from my understanding. Is my understanding of what happened to her is what can happen to me if I haven't deliberately prepared myself for being with many, many different
Ah,
people.
okay. So how do you prepare yourself?
So the way that I prepare myself is I actually do self Reiki. And it feels very much like prayer. It is the same energetic, sort of component as prayer. It's just that this was taught to me in a very specific way. And so what I do to prepare myself is I quiet my mind. And there are many ways to do that. Reiki is just one of them. But since we're talking about Reiki, that's what I'll speak to if you like, my own process of self Reiki is of putting my hands first in the prayer position, right in front of my heart. I find that grounds me and settles me immediately. And what I then do is I focus on just the space between my palms, just that space. That's a very powerful, energetic space where the Reiki energy gets concentrated. Now, I've learned Reiki. It's been passed on to me. This vibrational energy called Reiki has been passed on to me so I can very quickly access it. So if you haven't been trained in Reiki, there are other ways to settle and ground yourself. If you like Enya, you put Enya on. If you love U2 or Steely Dan or any kind of music that gets you in a fabulous mindset,
Yep.
then you put that on. If you need to get really quiet in a room and centered and try, as in, say, meditation, to focus on thoughts that really please you, like, I can do this, I am well, I am well, I am well. That can settle your mind. Deep breathing is a very powerful modality for settling your mind. Matter of fact, Reiki, in my experience, is all about the breath. So these are ways in which a person can deeply settle and ground themselves.
What's the correct way to breathe?
Well, the correct way to breathe in order to really settle yourself the deepest is to focus. First of all, get yourself into a quiet space, whatever that may be. I kind of go into my massage room, my treatment room. That's where I feel the quietest and the most grounded. I will generally put music on that appeals to me. I'll put my hands together and I immediately feel my breath change. And what I do is I follow my breath. The correct way, when I know that I'm breathing in the best way for my body, is when my inhalations are deep and long and slow, but my exhalations are twice as long and slow and deep.
Got it.
That's when I know that I'm in that, and they're even, and it's even bend. That my breath isn't ragged. It's not jagged. It's not catching in my throat. I'm not holding my breath. It's not too fast. You kind of really know it when you fall into a rhythm that you feel very settled and grounded, and it usually doesn't happen right away. It takes a little time. I can access it pretty easily at this point because I've been practicing um, Reiki and the breathing modalities around that for so long. But that's a really quick way to ground your energy, is to come to the breath. The breath, I describe the breath actually as the intersection of body and spirit.
Wow.
So if we were to get back to the chi, because you had mentioned the importance of being responsible for your own chi,
Yep.
which is a really great question, because we are, each of us, responsible for the quality of chi that's present in our bodies and also in our minds. And I will tell you how chi is nourished, if you like, because that'll really help you understand how we can enhance chi. Now, there isn't a blueprint because we're also unique, right? We're also unique in our constitutions, whether that be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. We are so unique. None of us is the same. And so when I talk about chi, I say chi or ki being nourished at the highest levels. I mean for your personal optimum functioning. Okay? So for you really know the foods that are best for you, and you can determine that by how you feel after you eat them.
Yep.
Do you get tired? Do you get kind of foggy-headed? Do you feel jittery? Do you just feel energized as if, you can go out and you can achieve something that you want to do that day? Do you feel as if you can move with greater, sort of deliberation and strength? These are the foods that you need. Usually sugar isn't one of them because that's a very low vibrating substance.
Got it. What about coffee?
Coffee is one of those drinks that can really be good for certain people. And for others, it can put them right off the edge. So I would never say to you, don't drink coffee. I need to drink decaf coffee because I'm just of such a nature that if I drink caffeinated, coffee or eat chocolate, I'm going to get way too jittery and I feel very, very ungrounded.
Got it.
So for me, it would need to be decaf coffee, but you might find that sort of a high-quality coffee, or not even such a high-quality coffee, but what I describe as a high-quality coffee is actually organic coffee, because organic coffee is a very heavily sprayed crop.
Interesting.
Yes, the cacao plant is heavily sprayed, and it is one of the most sprayed plants out there. So for me, when I drink coffee or decaf coffee, it'll always be organic. Now, you may choose that or not, but you'll just need to see how you feel. How do you feel after you drink coffee? How do you feel after you drink coffee? Let's say in the first cup, how do you generally feel?
I feel all right. Maybe wakes me up a little bit. I think that I enjoy just the process of having a cup of coffee, more than anything.
The ritual of it, sort of.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting down and drinking a cup of coffee and maybe reading through something that I want to. I just like the process of it.
Exactly, and that word is so good, process, because really that's a big part of the mindset that gets created when we make the right choices for ourselves.
Yeah.
Is the process that gets created from that.
Yeah.
Creating that right mindset. For you, it's sitting down with a cup of coffee and whatever else you might do in that moment, and that gets us to the optimum environment in
Right.
which to drink that coffee at the beginning of the day, right?
Right.
The music you might choose to put on the radio or not. The friends we choose. Who do we surround ourselves by? This is really important in determining our own chi. But getting back to ourselves, so it's the quality and the type of exercise. It's the environments we choose to spend time in. For some of us, a really busy environment, like New York City, say, is absolutely where someone needs to be. That if they're not surrounded by that much activity, they really feel sluggish and uninvigorated. For me, I'm a country girl. I need to be in the country. I love to go into the city because it is invigorating, but only in certain, for limited amounts of time.
Got it.
So each of us has an optimum environment, and we need to recognize what that is.
And how do you recognize it? Just by being more and paying attention?
To how you feel.
Got it.
It's always about how we feel in our bodies and in our minds. It's been called the emotional guidance system. That's one way you can look at it. How you feel is generally about your emotions, but how you feel in your body too will determine if it's the right environment. So if you're feeling jittery, you're feeling fear, you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling a challenge that may be above you at the moment, overstimulated, or under-challenged, bored, it's not an environment that pleases you. It doesn't stimulate you at any level. You know that you're not in the right environment. When you feel at ease and also you're at optimum functioning, and even if that just means total relaxation, if that's what you need in that moment, you're in the right place.
Got it.
So it's really important.
Have you ever heard of NLP?
Is that neuro-linguistic programming?
Yes.
I have heard of it. Tell me more. Yes, is that along the same lines as what we're talking about?
Not quite, but it just some of like the vocabulary that you're using, reminds me of it when you say modality and just a couple other things. You can kind of like can you when you're conversing with somebody or see somebody or listen to them talk, can you say, "Oh man," can you recognize a Reiki person?
Um, not always, because we're human. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It just depends on how actually deliberate that Reiki person. Just because I know Reiki does not mean I don't make really poor choices. Sometimes I do because I'm human. But it's better reflected. But the thing about poor choices is if I deliberately make them, then that's okay. I'm going to be responsible.
Right. Right.
How they make me feel. But chances are, if you're with people that are interested in what you are also at least curious about and at the most passionately interested in, you are going to feel more of a resonance with them.
Right.
Definitely.
Got it.
Definitely. Do you want to know how chi flows through the body?
Yes, I would love to.
Because it actually flows through different channels of the body and energetic centers of the body that I am accessing with, or that I am, connecting with when I do Reiki. And some of these channels where chi flows is, have you ever heard of meridians in acupuncture?
I know the words, but not what it means.
Okay, so acupuncture works by needling, in other words, inserting a needle in a very shallow way into specific channels in the body.
Got it.
And these channels are all associated with different organs and glands and body parts. They're directly connected to in a very specific, mapped out way. What is flowing through those acupuncture channels is this chi. That's just an example of where it can flow. And it also flows in much smaller channels called nadis. It's not important that you remember that. It's just important that you know that there are many places in the body that the chi is actually flowing. It's flowing in your body, around your body, in the aura, and it's most easily identified with and accessed by me as a Reiki practitioner in areas called chakras. And so
what are chakras?
Yeah, chakras are just amazing centers in the body. One way you can think of the chakras, and there's 7 of them. This is how some Reiki practitioners understand chakras. There's probably many more chakras than 7. And some Reiki practitioners can definitely connect with more than 7. But for our purposes today, the ones that I work with are the ones that are, sort of outside of the body, but in the body as well. And these chakras are centered in very specific areas of the body. Chakra means wheel, a spinning wheel, because they're circular, spinning vortexes of energy.
Interesting.
They're fascinating. They're absolutely fascinating. And they're located then in very specific areas of the body. So what I'm accessing are the crown chakra, which is the chakra at the top of the head, the third eye chakra, which is the chakra of the vortex, the spinning wheel that's between the eyes, the throat chakra, which is located, sort of between the collarbone and the jawbone, the chest chakra, which is the heart chakra. This is where the heart is, the lungs are. That's the upper chest and the lower chest and the middle chest chakra. And then the solar plexus has another one that's between the bottom of the rib cage and the navel. And then there's another chakra which is between the navel, on the base of the spine. And then there's the powerful spinning chakra that's located at the base of the spine and goes all the way to the feet. And
can you see this?
I can't see them. Some people can. I can't. But what I'm able to do is sense them.
Got it.
And what I'm sensing, and everybody's different, by the way. That doesn't make me better than anybody else. I mean, there are people who hear things, see things, feel things, get images. I get what I get. You would get what you get. There is no right or wrong way to practice or to receive chakra. Not at all. It is completely individual. What I get when I do Reiki, and I'll talk about my process more a little bit later, but I get a sensation of a kind of a denseness, a pulsation, a thickness, or a sense of emptiness, void, movement, lack of movement, warmth, cold, pulsation, oscillation, vibration. I'm just sort of closing my eyes and thinking about what it is that I feel when I give Reiki. And what happens when I give Reiki is my breathing changes. And my breathing changes as a direct result of what it is I'm feeling in the other person. And where my breathing stops and I hold it and it's completely unconscious, I am not directing it. I do not direct Reiki. It's not guided by me. I'm merely a channel. Don't forget, it's spiritually guided Reiki energy. So what I feel in these chakras are all those sensations. And where I hold my breath is where I notice that I need to hold my breath, or I wouldn't be. And there is something going on in that area of the body, that chakra, those meridians, those channels, those nadis, that needs balancing. Whether it's excess or depletion, I am not judging that. It's not up to me to judge. I'm just moving it. Or it's being moved through me. I am not doing a thing. Let me really emphasize that. I am not doing a thing. These are just Reiki hands that are going on a person, and I'm listening deeply through my hands, through my being, to what's going on. Sometimes I'll get pictures, sometimes I'll get colors, sometimes I'll get images, sometimes I'll get feelings, but they all pass through me. And in the end, it's about balancing these vortexes. And I know when to move on. It's just very natural. But I'll make sure that at the end of every treatment that I have accessed every chakra. And if a person tells me that they are specifically in pain, then I will make sure that I focus on that area of pain. Because the amazing thing about Reiki, Ben, is that it always works. It's always for our highest good, and it's always safe. It can't possibly do any harm.
Wow. And do the chakras relate to our identity or like personality?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, because it reflects such understanding, really, of the possibilities, really of the formation of these chakras. Absolutely, they reflect our identity. Do you want me to tell you how at this point?
Yes.
Okay. The way they do that is, if you can sort of wrap your mind around this right now, what the chakra system has been described as, I'm going to use the words of someone else who described them as the sacred architecture of our soul. I believe that was Anadea Judith, just to give her credit. Anadea Judith is an amazing practitioner and writer and psychologist, yoga teacher. She has an incredible understanding of the chakra system and brought this understanding to most of us here in the West. And she has described it that way. And the way that it's described that way, I sort of look at it as this spiritual footprint of our beings. We have the physical footprint, right? We have your body in its densest form that is very unique to you, right? I mean, your fingerprints obviously are like nobody else's, right?
Right.
Okay, we're talking physical. So yours is very, very unique. And everything that goes on in your body is unique to your physical body. There's a whole other plane, this spiritual, emotional plane, let's call it the spiritual plane for now, that is also there, which we referred to in the very beginning with this phantom limb pain. That is formed chakra by chakra, Ben, from the moment of birth. Actually, probably from the moment of conception, but I'll say from birth. It is said that it happens in 7-year segments. I have read that it happens in, other periods of time. It's not really important. It's important for you just to know that as we grow from infancy to, old age, we have a very specific evolutionary development of our spiritual system within the chakras. And how it happens is everything that we experience as a baby, every time our parents or our caretakers, whatever form they are, touch us, hold us, speak to us, nurture us, feed us, are present in our, with us, we are taking in from them the environment that we are in as babies. How calm is it? How jarring is it? How colorful is it? How dull is it? How safe is it? How scary is it? All of it, all of our experiences as a baby are formed in our first chakra. And as a result of that, the first chakra is all about trust. It's all about the development of safety, that it's safe to be here. This is a safe place. I have a right to be here. This feeling of having a right to be here, knowing that you have a place in this world that is uniquely yours, is all about first chakra development. How afraid might you be to to be awake, to be alive, to go forth in your life or not. How confident are you? Is all about this formation of identity that you just mentioned, starting with the first chakra. So every one of our experiences, every conversation, every wound, every trigger bed is there in every one of our chakra systems. And there's probably not time now, but I could go through every one of our chakras and tell you what they're associated with and how they develop. But it may be most important right now, just in terms of your question, to say yes, it is very much the development of our chakra system from our first chakra to our seventh chakra is very much the development of our identity. Who are we? How do we feel in our bodies? How do we feel in our souls? Every day, in every moment. Absolutely.
That's crazy. It's so interesting.
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
Well, we might have to come back for a part two because this stuff is so interesting. We got about 5 minutes left, and I just wanted to run everybody through about four more things. The first is precepts. The second is self-practice. The third is different levels, and then the fourth is individual soul imprint. So let's run through these four in about 5 minutes,
Okay.
which might be kind of tough, but
yeah, and you might just have to remind me. Let's start with precepts. So
yep.
there are 5 Reiki principles. The founder of Reiki, his name was Makao Usui, just to give you a name to honor him with mentioning his name. Mikao, first name. Usui is the last name. A Japanese man, and he recognized that we needed guidance in practicing Reiki. It wasn't just about being trained in the practice of Reiki and how to do it, but also what does it mean to lead a Reiki-centered life? What does that mean? And so what he kind of developed were 5 principles for life. And they are all about taking responsibility just for the moment we're in now. And what they are is, number one, and they're translated in different ways, but the way I learn them is because, remember, they're translated from Japanese. The way that I learn them is just for today, which always means just in this moment, because that's all we have, right? The constant now, now, now. That's all we can manage is this moment, right now. So just in this moment, I will not be angry. The next one is just for now, just for today, I will not worry. The third is just for today, I will be grateful. I'll feel gratitude. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. In other words, I will live with integrity. I will live with honestly. I will walk the talk. And the last one is, I will be kind to every living thing.
Sounds like the recipe.
And we could talk about each one at length, but I think just knowing that that's the recipe. And let me just add, that doesn't mean we're looking for total, let's say, blind faith or a sense of fatalism. Oh, it's going to be what it's going to be. God willed it such, it's not about that. It's not about just giving in and giving up because, we have no control. It's not about that at all. It's not looking for that state of mind. It's just taking responsibility for how you're feeling in the moment. Because as you go forward with action, you need to just be aware of how you're feeling before you take that next step into action. So you have to address the anger first. It doesn't mean don't feel angry because it sometimes really serves us to feel angry. It helps us to identify what it is we're feeling, right? There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
But if you act from that, that's when we get into trouble. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Just identifying. Okay. Where are we next? You tell me.
Self-practice.
Oh, self-practice. Self-practice is really the cornerstone of Reiki. It is what we are taught in Reiki 1. There are different levels of training. Some Reiki teaches 3 levels. I've learned both 3 and 4 levels. There's the first degree, second degree, third degree, and fourth degree, say. On the first degree of Reiki, you learn self Reiki. So you learn certain positions, certain hand positions. Remember we talked about the chakra system?
Yes.
So you learn the hand positions that will physically engage with those chakra systems. You learn where the chakras are and how to just place your hands over them. So you learn the actual positions for engaging with those Reiki, with those chakras. And so with Reiki self-practice, that's what you do every day. My practice consists of putting my hands together in prayer at the front of my heart, centering myself, focusing on that space between my hands, asking for guidance, asking for clarity, asking for wisdom, and then beginning Reiki in a very specific way, starting at my head and ending either at my lower abdomen or my feet, whatever I choose. That's self-Reiki.
Got it.
It's a very specific process. It's very grounding and centering because it's deliberate.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about the levels?
Just very quickly, the first level of Reiki is, again, this level 1 Reiki, which basically defines what Reiki is and what it can do for you and for family, friends, animals, and for the earth. Getting back to this idea of connectedness then that we mentioned before, that who we are is reflected by how we feel, but also it will affect other people by what we are actually, what field of energy is extending from us. So it teaches us about that, the fact that we are here and we affect each other. But mostly, how does it feel in ourselves to learn Reiki? What are these Reiki principles that we just talked about? This foundation for healthy living. And it will teach you the basic hand positions for healing yourself and healing others. And again, when we're talking about healing, we're talking about the entire physical, emotional, spiritual, mental dimension. And you will receive what is called a Reiki 1 attunement. Each level of Reiki has something called an attunement. The attunement is simply it is actually the heart of the teaching, the practice of Reiki, and that there is actually a transfer of very highly refined, energetic, vibrational energy from, say, me to you. Hands-on. It can be, when you're learning Reiki, it really has to be the physical presence. You can do distance Reiki, but for teaching purposes, I believe the person has to be right in front of you. There's a hands-on component of it, a very specific modality of where your physical, emotional, spiritual, mental system is being calibrated and attuned to the Reiki vibrational energies that I'm passing into you. And at every degree of Reiki, there is an attunement involved that brings you to a higher and higher level of receiving and giving Reiki.
Gosh,
so
fascinating.
It really is. And so in the second degree, we learn how to work with these very specific energies. We learn how to identify them, what they actually look like, and how to work with them. And we learn how to do distance Reiki, because Reiki will transcend all time and space, just like prayer will, right? So it will learn how to do distance Reiki, clearing, cleansing of ourselves. And by the way, in first degree Reiki, we learn how to protect ourselves. With self-Reiki is very self-protecting. So if your friend, for instance, knew first degree Reiki, she could do self-Reiki and feel very, very protected as she goes into this mob of people, that she's shaking hands with. And,
right.
Inadvertently receiving their energy. So we discussed the chakra system much more extensively in second degree Reiki, and we practice in all levels on each other and on ourselves. The third degree Reiki is the master practitioner level, which just takes this healing capacity that we will learn to another level of healing, because again, there's an attunement at every level, and the master practitioner level enables me to teach you Reiki, okay? So, or rather, to practice Reiki on you. It allows me to practice Reiki on you at a much higher level of understanding and ability, because of what I have been given from the people who have trained me. This is the master practitioner level. It just goes much deeper into advanced healing techniques, which are specific techniques for balancing and activating energy for healing and wholeness, growth, and transformation. That's third degree. The fourth degree is the master teacher level. That's the level that I wanted to do every level. You just never get enough of this stuff.
Right.
There were 17 levels, and I'm sure there are, because it's always growing. It's always expanding. There's no end to it. So the fourth degree is this master teacher level, which enables me to teach Reiki to others.
Got
and
it.
pass on the energies. Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, I think it's really awesome, and I'm enjoying this, and I'm super fascinated. You definitely have me wanting to wanting to go and research and find out more.
Well, let me just end on this note. There's something else that happens beyond all that I've described to you, and this is the imperceptible quality of the subtle energy field that we're engaging with. And what happens with regular Reiki practice, whether on yourself or giving Reiki to others, is that there is something that awakens in you and in the person you're working with. It's like a channel that opens into inner awareness. It's like you somehow recognize your purpose, the meaning of you being here, what that is, why that is. We seem to drop, we seem to sort of move away from the fears, the wounds, and triggers that, kind of drive us into psychotherapies and other, drugs and other forms of pharmaceuticals or not, all the things that make us feel better. They all have purpose, great purpose. But we seem to connect more and more with that thing that lives inside of us, that spirit that is uniquely ours, that enlivens us and defines us. It's just astonishing. All I can say is it's something that does happen in all of us, that grows with each treatment.
That's
So
crazy,
that's the real
Janet.
fascination of it. So, Ben, find a Reiki master around you. You can find them, you can Google Reiki if you know an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, someone in alternative or complementary or integrative, type of therapies. They'll give you a name. Get someone that you like, that you would probably, approve of their recommendation of personality, say, and have a Reiki treatment.
How can somebody find you if they want to work with you? Do you have an email, or how would you prefer somebody get a hold of you?
Well, I have always worked as a massage therapist and as a Reiki practitioner by word of mouth and personal recommendation. I've never advertised myself, and that seems to have worked very well for me. If someone wanted to, directly find me that's, local to me, they would probably know somebody who knows me.
Got it.
And they would be referred to me, whether it be a yoga teacher that's a student of mine or a client of mine,
Got
or
it.
I am a student of hers, something like that. They, I do have cards that I have at different places. I don't actually have a website, although I would like to develop one.
Well, if somebody wants to get a hold of Janet, just leave a comment on the video, and I'll make sure that I get you guys connected.
Very good. I would love that, Ben, and I appreciate that, and I so enjoy and appreciate the time you've given me today. I'm really honored by it.
I'm honored to have you. I mean, this is it's definitely changed my thinking. I think it'll change other people's thinking, and it was really just like an epiphany for me because I had never heard of Reiki, and now I feel like I have a little bit of background info on it, and I want to actually go out and find out more myself.
I think that would be fantastic. I mean, even if you just took a Reiki 1 course,
Yeah.
that's all you need to have the ability to do Reiki on yourself. It's not complicated. Trust me, it's really not. It doesn't take any belief system. It doesn't take any dogma, any specific religion, any intellectual capability, any state of health. We can all do it, and we can all live it. And we can all benefit.
That's Janet Perini. Thank you so much.
Ben Page, thank you.
All right, you guys. I hope you found value in this. I know I did, and we'll see you next time.